it's nice to sort of, in a roundabout way, have the hard work pay off, because I've not just been sort of coming in. I've been trying to come into training week in, week out, and just make sure I do my bit, and stay out that little bit extra. And it's knowing that I was ready to come in if anything ever happened, and luckily I was. Hopefully, ready to come in and step up and make sure I do my bit for the team, because obviously we've got the target, which is promotion at the end of the year.
Compared to last season, where you were predominantly number one, there's a lot more competition this year, and seeing you only have 18 appearances, how do you assess your season so far?
It's been, as you just said, the amount of appearances kind of sums it up in a way, where it's sort of been, I've started the season, as you said, and then and Christie's come in and done well, but at the same time I've not just sat back and just gone, oh well, I hope Christie does it. But I've tried to sort of watch the games and play them just by sitting down and sort of being in the dugout and just watching the games and trying to play through and learn from that, and seeing what Christie does, how he does things, because he's been unbelievable for the last, when he's played, he's been so good. So it's been obviously hard for me to have any say in trying to get back in the team. And but at the same time, as I said, I've been trying to do my thing and just analyse the games and see if I can improve by just sitting there and watching a game and learn from Christie.
So when you are out of the team and sat on the bench and then you get to training, what are you working on trying to prove to get yourself back in there?
I think it's more trying to just do yourself justice by just being ready, week in, week out, and showing the manager that if anything does happen, because football does change very quickly. Christie got injured, I played, and then Christie was back in and he got injured again. It just shows how quickly things can change, and you just want to be there. You just want to show the manager that you're there, ready, training well, and playing well in the reserve games. And if something does happen, he has, he can make a decision and say, right, you're back in. So that's you're almost fighting against yourself. Obviously, you're trying to push Christie, you're trying to push Hammy, because they've been both brilliant as well in training. But when in the end, it's all, I just want to do it for myself really, and just make sure I'm ready. And if the manager calls upon, if I'm called upon, I want to make sure I'm ready.
From the outside, it seems like quite a healthy competition between you three lads from the starting spot. Would you say it's beneficial to the team and yourselves individually, or would you say?
Oh yeah, I think.
You'd rather not have it?
No, I think I perform. I know my worst seasons have been when I wasn't not guaranteed the number one spot, but there was sort of a couple of young lads with me. Those have been my worst seasons because they haven't been able to push me. Whereas this year, it's the standard of goalkeeping is right up there, I think, and it's one of the best environments, if not the best I've been at, because everybody's trying to push each other. We all pat each other on the back if it's a great save, but at the same time, we all want to be playing, and there's no better environment. I want to come in and train every week in, week out, just because of that environment we've got.
Talk about that, and going into your whole career really, you spent a large part of your senior career in Scotland with Falkirk.
Yeah.
How does the Scottish Premier League compare with League Two?
There's a lot less travelling. There's a lot less travelling. I think the furthest game is like 3.5 hours, and that's it. But no, it's in terms. It's a Premier League, so it's slightly different because you generally expected to be involved in the cup competitions. You're expected to you have a chance of playing in Europe. You're playing against Celtic and Rangers week in, or you've got a chance of playing against them. So it is different, but it doesn't quite have the same buzz as the English Football League. To me, that was always one of the things when I was up there. I wanted always to come back to the UK, to England, and play in the Football League. That was always a goal of mine, and the buzz and the amount of games there are, I just think it's so much better than Scotland.
Briefly mentioned about European football, and you actually made your European debut in the Europa League whilst at Falkirk. What's it like to play in such a prestigious competition like that? It's hard because you try and not think about it too much, to not sort of put too much pressure on yourself, but at the same time it's nice to you're involved in that, and it's on your CV, and it's sort of it's like a Wembley appearance or something like that. It's just on your CV, and it's just I think it's more at the time you don't quite realise it, but you look back and you think, well, actually I've played in Europe, or and that was more the exciting part of that appearance. After leaving Scotland, you went and spent a season at Torquay United, where you had a pretty decent season, to be fair, beating their record with 20 clean sheets. Where would you rank that in terms of your seasons over your whole career?
It's always nice to break records. It's definitely always nice to break records. If I look back at the season, we lost in the playoffs in the semis, so you can kind of look at it and think, it was a nearly season. So no, on a personal level, I really enjoyed it. It was a great career. It was great from my career perspective because I signed for Peterborough on the back of that season. But if you look back, you think, well, we didn't quite achieve anything. We just sort of got to the playoffs and that was it. And as a footballer, that we've talked about this actually in the dressing room not long ago, and it's a bit of a wasted season. You just kind of get there and you think, oh well, we didn't quite achieve anything. So yeah, on a personal level, I really enjoyed it, and it was nice to get all those clean sheets. But sort of on a footballing level, it's unfortunately nothing exactly.
It meant a move to Devon. Is this an area of the country you feel settled in, and what do you like about this area?
That was, when Mel rang me actually to come and sign here, that was one of the reasons I wanted to come back. I just enjoyed it down here. I knew the area quite well as well, and I just wanted to come back. It was just such a different part. Everywhere else is grey, and here you've got sunshine. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back, and obviously the facilities here are amazing as well. But no, I really like Devon. I just really liked it. I don't know why. I just feel quite settled here. Yeah.
Any particular spot in Devon you like?
Well, I've always liked this sort of, it's because it's close enough to everywhere. You've got Bristol not too far, you've got the airport quite close if you do need to go anywhere, far. But no, I'm living in Exeter at the moment, and I've always liked it. I think it's a cool city as well.
You also mentioned your excellent season at Torquay allowed you to move into Championship level of football with Peterborough, where you also equalled their record for clean sheets, 22 in the 12-13 season. Looking back at it now, was that your biggest sort of chance, your biggest move you ever did against Peterborough in the Championship?
Oh yeah, I think so. No, it was at the time we were in the Championship, and it's something I couldn't turn down really. It was the Championship. It was I knew they would always be sort of playing for relegation, because that was sort of Peterborough had the lowest budget I think at the time in the league, but. Yeah, it was just something I couldn't turn down. You've got all the big clubs. There's obviously Premiership clubs getting relegated, so that was something I felt like I had to do. Obviously, unfortunately, we got relegated, but the following year was quite a good season where we ended up playing at Wembley, and obviously, as you just mentioned, the clean sheet record. So that was quite exciting. But yeah, it was in hindsight, I think it was one of the best moves probably. Yeah.
Bringing your experience from playoffs in Torquay and Peterborough, don't know. Jinx anything or anything, but Exeter obviously looking to get promoted, probably via the playoffs.
Yeah.
What sort of advice would you give to the younger lads in the team who perhaps haven't had the experience you've had going into playoffs?
Yeah.
Even mentally, preparing yourself for what's to come.
It's a good question. It's I think when you're a young player, don't put too much pressure on those games, and I know they're really important games, but at the same time it's only 90 minutes, it's only it's a couple of games, plus you've got the carrot of Wembley at the end of that, and I didn't quite realise the importance of that until I actually managed to get to play there, and then when you're actually there you think, wow, I want to go back there. But so you sort of lose in the playoffs and you don't think much of it, but then when you actually, obviously I played at Wembley not through the playoffs, but then when you actually think about that there is a chance of actually going to play there, that's the thing. That's I think what I would probably say is don't overthink the games, but at the same time think about there's a chance of going to Wembley and obviously the promotion at the end of that if you win.